Guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Now, if you're training hard, eating well, and you're used to progressing in the gym, but suddenly everything's slowed down, your lifts have stalled, you're barely, progressing, you're starting to feel sore all the time, and you're wondering if you've hit your genetic ceiling, I'm here to tell you haven't. You've just left the beginner's phase and moved to an intermediate phase, okay? The newbie gains have stopped, and now in order to go to the next level, you're gonna have to have a little bit more precision with your training. I've helped over 700 guys build great physiques, build muscle, lose body fat, and have great transformations. I've trained myself for 17 years. I'm going to break down exactly how to keep building muscle after those beginner gains stop. As a beginner, guys, you can walk into a gym, look at some dumbbells, and your arms will grow. But once you go past that stage, I'm sure we've all been there, things massively slow down, and we realize that building muscle is a painfully slow, tedious, and repetitive process. But we're going to dive into it and show you how you can keep progressing so you don't make the same mistakes I made where you just didn't make any progress for about 5 years and had to become a coach because you became so obsessed with it. Now, after all my years of training and coaching so many people, I've kind of narrowed this down to 3 main points, okay? The first point is they have no structured progression, okay? You're just in the gym doing whatever. You're not planning your lifts, you're not tracking your lifts. The second thing I see is people do not train hard enough at all or anywhere near close to failure. And the third thing I see is people program hop every 5 minutes. I'm going to dive into all 3 of these right now. First things first, no structured progression, okay? I have consult calls with men all the time and they say to me, oh, Max, I've been training for years, I'll do a bit of this, do a bit of that. I've not really seen much progress. I do a bit of classes. And I'm thinking, hold on, your goal is to build muscle and lose fat, but you don't know how many calories you eat. You don't progress your training. You don't track any lifts. You do F45 all the time. You're going for runs and then you're playing tennis. Then you're playing golf, then you're bodybuilding. Now you're training for a high rocks, but you want to do a half marathon at the end of the year as well. If you want to get good at football, you play football. If you want to get good at golf, you play golf all the time. If you want to build muscle, you need to get good at lifting weights, okay? And a lot of guys, they want to build muscle. We know that building muscle means you can eat more food, which tends to mean people can stay leaner. The goal is to be muscular and lean, right? To build the complete physique, what I always talk about on this channel. So if you're somebody and you're watching this and it sounds like I'm talking to you when I say, how much weight have you added to your incline bench press? How much weight have you added to your squat across an 8 rep range, a 12 rep range, and a 15 rep range? How much weight can you lift off the floor in a Romanian deadlift or an RDL or a deadlift in the 6 rep range and the 12 rep range? Are you tracking this stuff, or do you just go to the gym and do what your mate does and then do a class? Men, boys, guys, if you're trying to build muscle, how is an F45 class or a Barry's class going to do it? How is running on the treadmill, then doing 45 seconds of pressing, then running on the treadmill, then do 45 seconds of push-ups, going to build muscle? You need to progressively get stronger at the main lifts. This is why I built a whole career on it. When you're going to go and play golf, you get 50 balls. You sit there, boom, you hit a ball, boom, and you hit a ball. You're constantly hitting balls to get great at hitting balls. Starting to sound weird, but you get what I mean. Why is it with weight training, 1 minute you're doing a chest press, and then you're doing F45, and then you're doing high rocks? If you want to build a great physique, you need to get good at the basics, okay? Which means progressing your lifts. At the start of your training career, you can just walk into a gym, do a bit of bench press, do some pull downs, do some shoulder presses, and off you go. But that is very limited, the progress there. You eventually come to a halt. I know guys that I speak to, they've been training for 10 years and they look like they've never even walked into a gym. Can you imagine playing a sport for 10 years? Imagine playing football for 10 years, someone passes you the ball and you can't kick a ball. You need to have structure around your training past that beginner phase. Don't waste your time. Don't go to the gym 3 times a week for 10 years and look like utter shit. It's a huge waste of time. The second thing is not training hard enough or training close to failure. As a beginner, fair enough. Training hard is a skill that you learn over time. Pushing yourself to failure is a skill that gets better over time the more you do it. I can't expect a 35-year-old who's never trained before to squat to complete failure, take a breath, then do 2 more reps, and take a breath, then do 2 more reps. Of course, this is something you build up over time. But at the start, this is why I don't like classes, okay? You don't train properly to failure in classes. You're too out of breath. You're just doing cardio with light weights. That does not build muscle. that will build your aerobic capacity and build your fitness, but it doesn't do anything for building muscle. You need to learn, guys, how to train hard. Once you go past that beginner phase to intermediate, you need to really learn how to push a muscle to failure. If you're doing a bicep curl, that means pausing when it's contracted, slowing down the eccentric part of the lift, pausing at the bottom, tempo, weight, form, intensity, intensifiers like drop sets and things like that. All of this comes into play to take you from a beginner lifter to an intermediate lifter. And guys, this is all I do in my programming. I give you structure. I tell you how to train, what to train. And then I also make people send me videos of their failure sets so I can actually assess and see what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And another thing, if you're a beginner, again, changing your training plan every 5 minutes. Now, when you walk into a gym, you can get away with it at the start in your first 6 months. You're doing a bit of bench, you're doing shoulders, and you're doing back, and then you're doing this split, then you're doing push-pull legs, and you're doing full body. All of this stuff is okay at the start. But if you want to make great progress in a short period of time, like in 90 days or 180 days, you find a plan, you stick to it, and you progress those movements in the plan relentlessly, just like when you're playing golf and you hit the ball over and over and over again. If you want great legs, you squat and you leg press and you RDL over and over and over and over again. Better form, more load, more reps, better form, more load, more reps, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's how you're going to build a great set of legs. But if you're changing your split every 5 minutes, it will never happen for you. And again, guys, when you go out of that beginner's phase, I'd say you're a beginner for your first couple of years of training. One thing I see is people get too obsessed with load, weight, and they don't care enough about form. Form over weight. Form first, weight second. When you've nailed form, you add more load. If I am shoulder pressing 25 kilo dumbbells here, boom, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or I've got 27.5 kilos and I'm going, who builds more muscle? Who puts more load on the shoulders? The idiot bouncing the 27.5s up, or the smart guy pressing the 25s with proper form? Tempo first, form. Tempo and form number one, weight number two, okay? Another issue I see that I want to talk about, I've gone over this in my reverse pyramid style training, is setting your sets up wrong and only pushing hard on set 3. Guys, if you're following a proper training split, how can set 1 be easy, set 2 be easy, and you push set 3? What about set 1 and set 2? It's like playing a game of football and only trying for the last 20 minutes. What about the other 70? You go as hard as possible from set 1 through to set 2, through to set 3. All 3 sets are to complete failure and beyond. The only difference is you drop the load down 10 to 15% in set 2 and in set 3, because you've gone so hard in set 1, you simply cannot do that weight again because it was the failure. So you have to drop the load for set 2, drop the load for set 3. Obviously, there's a warm-up set before this, before you don't just walk in and go into set 1. But guys, if you're doing, a bit of a first set, a second set, and then you go hard on the third set, you only did 1 set. That's why you're not building muscle past a certain point. So many people have been training for years and years and years. They only push set 3. They're doing 1 set per workout. Come on, guys. Another thing, okay, that leads me to compound lifts, as I've spoken about before. It's easy to take the bicep curl to failure. It's not easy to take a T-bar row to failure or a chin-up to failure. It's easy to take a leg extension to failure. It's soul-destroying to take a pendulum squat, a leg press, or a back squat to failure, or a Bulgarian split squat set to failure. Taking big compound lifts to failure with correct form, correct tempo, and getting stronger over time is a fail-proof system to build loads of muscle long term. The only thing that's going to hold you back is calories. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. When you go from that beginner phase to intermediate phase, beginner phase, you just build muscle super quick, you recomp super quick, then you get stuck. Then you need to make a decision. If I am fat, I need to go into a deficit and get lean and then reverse out and drive calories up over time. If I'm massively overweight, I need to sit in my deficit for a prolonged period of time, get as lean as possible, knowing that I'm still going to be building muscle because I have so much stored fat on my body that I can build muscle and lose fat in the deficit. That doesn't make sense, guys. Click my landing page in my bio and learn, and let me show you how to do it, because you need to learn. I'm tired of speaking to guys that have been training for 10 years and they look like they've never even walked into a gym. If that is you, I'm speaking to you. Go down to the bio and click the link. Remember, once you go past that first couple of years of training and you've built a bit of muscle, but you can feel like you're stuck, these are the keys, guys. And you can make incredible progress in just 90 days. I've had men training for years and years in their 40s and 50s who in 90 days, they just cannot believe the progress they've made. I'll have a load of transformations pop up on the screen of some of the guys I've trained over the years. I've coached over 700 people, 500 men, 200 women, and all of my links to my premium coaching are below. But if you don't want it, it's totally fine. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next.